The following program is brought to you by Caltech.
Okay, my final privilege is to issue a charge to the graduates. But before I do so, let me thank again our commencement speaker, Dan Juergen. Dan, thanks for joining us today and for sharing your experience and wisdom with all of us. There can be no doubt that the issues surrounding energy are the issues that all of the graduates will be facing, energy and climate, facing you over your lifetimes. And it was really good to hear from one of the experts. He also spent the day, as was said yesterday, which is unusual for a commencement speaker, visiting JPL, visiting people doing work in energy and policy on campus, and we look forward to welcoming him back again. So, graduates, the same can be said of you. It has been a pleasure to have you here. I know it might not always have felt like a pleasure to you, given the intensity and rigor of Caltech's programs, but all of us on here understand that you have achieved something special and rare. And the world needs people with a deep and thorough understanding of science and technology, and the creativity to apply this understanding to solving important problems facing our society that are the hallmarks of Caltech and the education we strive to proceed. The Caltech community could not be prouder of you, and I hope you are equally proud of yourselves. And your parents and families as well could not be prouder. I know this because you have seen I too today am the father of a newly minted Caltech PhD. And I know I've shared the following experience with most of the parents. Sometimes I've watched, largely powerless to help, as he struggled with difficult challenges in his research program, but with the guidance of his professors, the help and support of his friends and colleagues, and the unconditional love and support of his family, he persevered. And I have seen him exhilarated by the joy and wonder of discovery through that perseverance. I know that all of you are equally proud of your children and what he or she, in one case it's a they, so I want to be careful, what he or she has accomplished, and you should be. Occasions such as today's are a wonderful and special opportunity to celebrate our families and to be joyful in what today's graduates, be they our children, siblings, grandchildren, spouses, or parents, have accomplished and their promise for even more to come. But for me, every year, the Caltech graduation makes me think about my family, and in particular about my grandfather. He was born in the late 1800s and lived for more than 80 years. He lived through, as Dan described, what surely was a world changing by an unimaginable amount. When he started, there were only horse carts. When he died, there were people on the moon. He graduated with an undergraduate law degree in 1915, then served in the Army Air Corps in World War I, became an inventor, we would probably call him an entrepreneur today, and started a company that manufactured ignition systems for cars. He played semi-pro baseball. He started 2 successful companies with my father, and for 20 years was a professor of constitutional law. Finally, when he was 69 years old, he earned his PhD, almost 50 years after he graduated from college. And I'm wearing his gown. That's why I think of him every year. And I remember attending his graduation when I was 9 years old. Nobody here is 69 years old, I know. But I remember attending his graduation, and it was one of the most significant events of my childhood. And when he gave me his robe for my own graduation, I couldn't have been more honored. I wore it when I received my PhD, and I've worn it every year since at Caltech commencements. It's a little faded and tattered now, but it reminds me and my family that 4 generations of my family are spanned at today's celebration. It is about family. You're now members of the Caltech family, and as I said, I think to the graduate students yesterday at lunch, you can't change your family, all right? And so forever you will be Caltech family. I strongly believe, as Dan Juergen emphasized in his address, that today's graduates will live through a time that will see changes as great as those seen by my grandfather. And for this reason, your paths will likely have as many, if not more, discontinuities than his did. And your post-Caltech career will surely take you in unexpected directions as the world changes dramatically over your lifetimes. But I'm confident that your Caltech education will empower you not only to ride the crests of the waves resulting from these changes, but also to help define some of these changes. So here's my charge to you. Let yourself be willing to explore, to take risks. As John DeBeery last night said to the now Bachelor of Science recipients, let yourself be willing to fail. Try things, and if you're trying things at the edge, you will fail at some of them. You're well equipped to move in unanticipated directions, and not only is this expected, it is something we encourage and celebrate. So try to do something special and unexpected. Perhaps more important, believe that you can do so, because you already have done so by what you've achieved here and we've recognized today. As I mentioned to the graduate students at lunch yesterday and the undergraduates at dinner last night, I believe that the true impact of a university on the world is evident in the accomplishments of its graduates. It is largely our alumni who represent Caltech to the world and whose lives, work, and impact shapes the ways in which Caltech is and will be known. So we expect great things of you, but that's because you have proven that you're capable of them. So to all of our graduates and your families, congratulations. It's been our pleasure having you here, and we look forward to welcoming you back and all the great things you will accomplish. Best wishes to you all.